So Nirvan, interestingly, Radhe will also present on Tanla.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, I
I've
saw that.
but I've
I saw
said
that.
that it should be on last because there will be
Yeah,
lots of discussion on it.
yeah, yeah, sure.
All right.
So can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so first I'll talk about IT sector. So recently IT companies are rapidly growing in India, and there are many reasons. Most of them are that the sector is very, I mean, it has the ability to adapt to the changing market
Radhe,
conditions. Yeah,
sorry to interrupt. I can see a blank screen. I mean, I am only seeing your call. Google, there's no
just a
presentation.
Yeah, there was no presentation. Correct.
Yeah, we can see your Google Meet page.
still you are not able to see.
Yeah,
No, the
no,
presentation we can't see.
presentation we can't see. Another thing you can do, Radhe, is you can just send the presentation quickly to us if this is not working.
Oh
You
no,
can.
I'm using Notion because we were told to
Okay,
use just Notion. So
okay.
All
That's
right. So I can also present in Notion if you want. Should I?
okay, yeah, yeah, that works.
All right. Let me set it up. Just give me a second. Yeah, you can. I mean, start talking at least. I'll set it up in the meantime.
Yeah. So as I said, that the sector has ability to adapt to changing market conditions. And one other thing is that this sector has most like a lot of presence in the global marketplace. And even in COVID-19 pandemic, like the IT sector had accelerated because there was a sudden adoption of digital technologies, and Indian IT companies, they were benefiting from this trend, and particularly in areas of cloud computing, cybersecurity. And moreover, the Indian government is also focusing on expanding country's digital infrastructure and promoting the growth of IT sector. We know about the policies Digital India and Smart City, so that's why IT sector is booming. So you can change the status, you can filter it to PPT.
All right. Great. You've added. Very nice. This is very nice. All right. So
Yeah,
I'll
so
open. So let's start with eMudra.
yeah, sure.
Great.
Summary.
All right.
Yeah, so about the company, eMudra is number one brand in India responsible for issuing digital signature certificates, and it works closely with government and banking sector. Um, it is the only provider in India. It's the only provider of SSL and TLS certificate. Now that stands for Secure Socket Layer and Transport Layer Security. So basically, this is like a handshake between two network systems. And so the PE ratio is 75, which is quite high for IT company if compared to its other peers. And the free cash flow, what I find intriguing, can you go? Yeah. So here, the free cash flow is consistently negative for the company, and but however, earnings have grown significantly. Um yeah, and the company has more of debt financing than equity financing. Four of its six board members are independent directors, and the promoter holding is 61 percentage for the company. So the promoter has skin in the game, and they had in their annual report they had mentioned that the pet value is fluctuating because of tax rate I mean changes in tax rate, and they mentioned two reasons for that: non-deductible expenses and increasing in non-deductible expensing and changing rates of tax.
Okay.
Yeah.
One question: why is the company purchasing so much of fixed asset? Because it's an IT company. Where is that asset going towards, or what sort of assets are they purchasing? Do you have a, I mean, idea of it?
Can you go down a little bit?
Okay. Yes. Here.
Yeah. So I just wanted to talk first about this computer and hardware. So yeah, it's
Hmm.
as mentioned on about this employee with computer throughout the slides, instead of dividing it by 60,000, I divided the computer and hardware amount with the employees. So it's like tentative 1.3 lakh amount of computers are provided to this many employees.
Okay, and if you divide it by 60,000, what is the number? Let me just quickly check. 86 million. Okay, 86 million is 8.6 crore, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, divided by how many employees? 659. So, oh, sorry. No, but other than this, what are, I mean, these shouldn't be. So 143 would be the people with the compute. I mean, with this thing. What do you
yeah,
call it? With, so basically,
computer.
yeah, with computer there would be around 143 in a very conservative manner. And if you increase the amount, it would be actually less. Um, so out of the total number of employee, which is 659, around say only 25% are working are software engineers, and rest of it would be most likely sales and all of those things,
Yeah.
right? Okay, please don't
So
change these things. If you need to add something, you can add a row. Okay, I will delete this one because this just distorts it. Okay,
yeah.
all
So
right.
there has not been significant amount of growth in number of employees, and there has been no median remuneration for the employees.
Okay, so that's around less than percent. Okay, no, what I mean, the thing that I want you to find out, maybe I'll just add it over here as a follow up to this. What are the assets of the company? Could you just expand, I mean, go through the company? Yeah, you can go through the company and maybe add a new tab where you expand the asset, because for a IT company to have a operating, I mean, CFO of 35 crore and then a free cash flow of negative 77, that's kind of not correct. And I'm assuming you have done the calculation correctly.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Nir-
So
Nirvan, do you have any question?
Yeah, so this is a new company to me, Gaurav. So
Hmm.
I just wanted to understand from Radhe, can you explain the product to me? Like, what are they doing? Like digital certificates, I understand, but like, can you tell me? Like, I'm not getting a feeling of the product. So, like, what do they make exactly? And who do they sell it to? So, sorry, Gaurav, I'm going back to basics
No,
because
no, no. That's good actually.
thank
And I
you.
think one thing that we are missing is the product. I mean, we should have a page for
Yeah,
that.
so I think Gaurav,
Hmm.
what we should do is one presentation I would like to do for one company that I will cover. Okay,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that will be from like any company that I know well about, and I'll cover everything, and that can be used as a template. You know, the things that are covered there. So, for example, what you sent today in the morning, the list of items, I think that is exactly what needs to be covered.
Yeah.
Because we are starting with financials, because probably you and Radhe are familiar with this company. Similarly, Shantanu and I were familiar with RVNL. But for the new audience member, it is not giving the entire picture.
Got it. Yeah, even for me also, because eMudra, I've just skimmed through it. I did not
Right,
go very deep into it. But when Radhe was trying to explain, I know a bit of it. That's why it was easy. But
right.
from there, investor presentation, you can take this, and I think these should be present in our documentation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
Yeah.
what we can do is we can, create a PPT also, Gaurav, which will just have screenshots from either the annual report or anything, or
Hmm.
maybe put it in the Notion flow only. If it goes nicely in the flow, then you don't no need to put in a PPT. Anyway, we'll discuss this offline, Gaurav.
Sure. So for now, should we continue with Radhe's topic, or
Yeah,
do
yeah,
you
we
want
should
to?
continue, but I would
Okay.
say, it might be a little irritating for you because you will know the company, but I would probably ask some basic questions about the company if you don't mind.
No, no, please
So,
ask.
like,
No, that
uh,
that's actually what I want to do. I mean, so
yeah,
that
yeah,
anybody can understand. That's the
right.
main
So,
idea.
and I would encourage Pranav and Shantanu also, to if you have like questions, please ask. So, Radhe, can you explain the
yeah.
product?
Yeah, so along with digital certificate solutions, eMudra also provides some cloud computing services to various government and banking industries, which includes tax filing services. So where is there is a requirement for signatures and all those certificates, where there is a requirement to issue a certificate in tax filing services, or digital signing solution, or where there is an uh, requirement to issue digital certificate I mean, so they
So
are the only one who provide SSL and TLS. So basically, when there is an website made by a company, they need to have these certificates, because then
Okay.
it shows that the customer information. For example, if Amazon has this certificate, if I'm
Yeah.
providing my credit card information to them, so I know that that is secured because of those certificates, and only this company is responsible in India to issue those certificates. And
Okay.
there is a thing like web trust. I'm forgetting the name. It's an European association which gives out who is eligible to provide the certificate, and the one of the board members is a member also in that committee.
Okay.
okay.
So one question,
Web
Radha.
trust,
So
yeah.
so yeah. So the certificate is for example, if I'm going to Amazon, is it a certificate that Amazon's website is the original Amazon website? Is it that certificate, or is it authenticating me, the user, like
No, the website.
the website?
So,
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
Nirvan, you would see this thing, right? I mean, if I go to BSc website, there's this
Yeah.
SSL certificate. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
certificate that. So that's number one, and the other one, I think, what she was saying was this one, digital signature. So this is a very
Right.
interesting case for me because now, since most of the government, any tax filing or anything,
Yeah.
digital signature has become the norm instead of
Correct.
normal signature, especially due to the work from home situation. Right.
Correct.
So
Correct.
somebody needs to stay there and authenticate these digital signatures. So for example, if you send me a say any document, any even rent agreement,
Right.
and somebody is signing it, there should be a digital signature. Even for our company, there are digital signature given by MCA. What
Absolutely.
what eMudra does is validates that,
Okay. So it
right?
has a database against which it authenticates.
Correct, correct. And that's why
Okay.
it seems like a very interesting company, especially because there's tailwinds
Right.
for
Got
this
it.
one.
So
Hmm.
So
Gaurav
even if
and yeah, just one second, Gaurav and
yeah.
Radhi, if you're looking at this company, I just posted on the chat. There's another company in the US called DocuSign.
Hmm.
So this company became a huge, rage in the last 3 4 years.
It's blockchain
They
based, you know?
is it? I
I
think they.
think so.
Okay, okay. So what little I know about them is they are one of the pioneers in this digital signature space. So maybe Gaurav, if you're further delving into eMudra, you can look at this company.
But I think that yeah. So what I've been trying to add is all this solution portfolio. So maybe Radhe, what we can do from the next presentations is we go through the annual report and the con call or anywhere, and these templates that you see, you can put it over here, which will help you to explain also. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think we'll get it for all companies, but then let's do it for whichever we have.
I have done in some. I have presented
Perfect,
screenshot of con calls. So
perfect.
even in their annual report, they had mentioned that they were able to give out thousands of certificates in just an hour.
Yeah.
So that's an
Okay,
emerging company in India.
okay, okay, okay. Got it.
All right.
So
Um,
Where do this company operate? Is it only in India or outside
n-
India as well?
n- no, they have global presence, but among India, their clients are Infosys, Tata. Aditya Birla is one of the major shareholder in the company. JSW
Okay.
Steels.
Okay. So
okay,
they have around 37 on or 38% of the market share. Who are their competitors?
Um, I don't think there is much competition for particular services provided by them.
No,
So,
I mean, since it's a digital company and there won't be, I think, what do you call it, unorganized segment. So these would be large companies. So who controls the next 60% of the market? That's my question. So I see from their presentation, they have 37.9% of the market share. You can find this thing out. Yeah, write it down
yeah,
somewhere and try to
yeah,
find these questions out for this one because this is an interesting company for me.
yeah.
yeah, this is interesting. Another question, you said that promoter is who? Aditya Birla, is it?
No, no, no. Aditya Birla is one of the major shareholder in the company.
ओके, ये स्क्रीनर पे दिखा नहीं रहा है राधे, स्क्रीनर पे हिज नेम इज नॉट कमिंग अप अंडर प्रमोटर्स और even under DII, FII. So Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund is holding some stocks, but I don't see any mention of the company, the Aditya Birla Group company holding anything.
Customer
I
or
had
stakeholder?
I hadn't seen in I didn't see it on screener. I saw it somewhere else. I'll just paste the screenshot.
Okay, and
Sure, sure.
it's not customer, right? Like Gaurav is
No, no,
asking,
no,
it's
no.
the stakeholder. Okay, interesting, because that will be a very interesting
Yeah.
if that is the case. Hmm. Okay. So their revenues are growing well, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, their revenues are growing well, their EBITDAs are maintained, PAT is growing well. Have they declared December results? Okay, let me check on screener.
Yeah, they have, they have.
They
And it
have?
has, yeah, yeah, and sales have increased. The
Oh, yeah.
35% increase in sales.
Right.
Operating margin is constant.
Yeah.
Tax is 16%. I don't know why.
Hmm.
Tax
No,
percentage is
that can
16.
happen. That can happen.
Okay.
So if they are doing a lot of export sales and all in those jurisdictions, it can be low. But
Hmm.
even for other reasons, it can be low, Gaurav. So it is already at 36 PE and 22 EV EBITDA. Okay, okay.
Yeah. Employee
Interesting.
cost is decreasing as they are growing. Employee cost is decreasing, and the material cost. This is what I'm not clear. Why is the material cost rising? This is something I'm not clear. Maybe it's the AWS infrastructure cost and all, but that is something we have to figure out. I think as a next step. If
Yeah. So, I mean, material, first of all, IT companies, do they usually have such material costs? Yeah, exactly. So that needs to, and look at the variance, huh? There's huge variance. So,
hmm,
for example, I'm looking at Screener in September 2021 quarter, which is Q2 FY22, material cost was 28%.
hmm,
In the latest quarter, it is 15%.
hmm,
In June quarter this year, it was 7%. So it varies. So
yeah,
I think, Radhe, are you noting down the open questions somewhere?
yeah, yeah,
Just note down, why is there so much variation in gross margin quarter to quarter? Okay.
yeah,
okay, great. And I think the sales employees are, I mean, 75% would be sales employee, and
Okay.
25% are people with computers.
So
That we
even
kind of,
sales guys would have computers, by the way, huh? Gaurav, that's not a correct assumption. I think that they will not have at all.
I mean, they would have. Then their number of computers should be very high. Then that would
Oh,
be even bad. See, their, I mean, what they report in their hardware and computer, which we try to pick
yeah.
from here. So if you see for 22, what is it? This is 63 lakhs, right?
No, it's
66
6.3 crore. 6.3 crore.
6.3 crores. Sorry, this is 22, right? We look at uh
Even for 22, it is 6.5 crores only. Look at the
no,
last, the third last line, Gaurav.
no, this is with depreciation. I didn't want to see
Okay,
with depreciation. I wanted to see
okay.
with the original purchase price. So
Yeah,
that's
so that is here, 86,
8
8.6 crore.
8.6 crore, right? So
Yeah.
8.6 divide by the number of I mean, sorry, 8.6 divide by, say, around 60,000, which could be, say, a laptop cost. That
Yeah.
that would be around, say, 143 employees. So
No, no, that is 1,400 employees. That's not
oh,
143.
okay, okay, got it, got
Yeah.
it, got it. Then my mistake. I mean, I calculated. I was doing it in
R-
the calculator.
Right.
Just
So
a
they
zero.
have how many employees? They have 660, no?
Yeah, 659 employees.
So per employee cost, like I think Radhe had mentioned, was 1.3 lakhs, which is a little on the higher side, Gaurav, but I think there will be other things apart from computers also, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
So
1.3 lakhs.
it's 7 lakh.
no, no. So if you divide the 8.6 crore by 659 employees, you
Hmm.
get 1.3 lakh per employee. I
Yeah,
think that is the figure she had edited
correct.
that and I think entered that
Yeah.
figure. Yeah.
This is laptop expense, but actually it should be very high because I think they should have a lot of cloud computing cost.
And that will be part of computer and hardware, is it? Or cloud
I'm
computing will be OpEx cost, I think, Gaurav.
I'm not sure whether they are using, I mean, in-house cloud, or
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are,
yeah.
because they are doing digital signature. So I'm sure there would be some sort of these
Right,
security measures. So
right.
these are actually items we can find out. If that's the case, then this number is extreme. I mean, I think this is justified.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then we dive more deeper into this, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Rather, the questions you make sure that on this page only or somewhere, you document and tag us so that the next presentation we look at this.
Yeah, sure.
Acha. And also, is the company losing market share? I'm not sure. They had.
No, no. So the blue one, that's the company. So it has annual earning more than the industry and even seen more
Ah,
than the
okay,
market
okay,
itself.
okay, okay, okay. Got it, got it. So also, please find out who are their competitors. Yeah,
Yeah,
great. Okay. Um,
RAM info.
will we go into forensics and valuation? I mean, do you want to go?
I think,
No.
yeah, it's okay, I think, Gaurav,
Okay.
because we won't be able to cover two, three companies otherwise.
Yes. Okay.
So I
Ramen.
think what we can do, Gaurav, is once this first level presentation is done by everybody,
Hmm.
we can choose which are the companies we want to do a real deep dive on, and
Right.
then we can have a 1 hour presentation only on a very interesting company, from
Yeah.
every person.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
Yeah. eMudra looks
Okay.
interesting.
Okay. Great. Let's go into RAM info. Yeah.
Yeah. So RAM info, they have again showed. Okay, so they are involved. They are also. So just a second.
Should I show screener or any
No, that's
other?
fine. Yeah. Yeah, so Raminfo again, it is involved with e-governance services, and like more than half of the revenue comes from e-governance services, and they were even awarded the Gem of Digital India award for an app they created in 2017. So when the government launched the Digital India, they were one of the leading fronts in the IT companies. So even this, we can see that there is an increasing sales, and 2 out of their 8 board members are independent. So which is not quite good number. It should be more than it, at least half. And but their audit head is an independent director. So this is kind of forensics more.
Right.
And yeah, so can you just go a little bit down?
Yes.
Down.
Or down? Okay.
Yeah, so the promoter holding is 37% in the company. So there is not major skin in the game. Can you go below? Yeah, there is
Yeah.
an image.
Okay. Yeah. This one.
Below.
Let me know. I mean, salaries and incentive, other income.
Yeah, so here the company, they are also, I'm not sure if it should be subsidies from
It should be
government.
subsidy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so they received subsidies from government this year. It was not received previous year, and I could not find this in any other IT company. So this is something I found new. Another thing is there are just 50 to 70 employees in this company,
Yeah.
which is very, I mean, they're into huge projects, and the employee size is quite small. So one more thing about Raminfo is they 50 more than 50 percentage. I mean, to be precise, 73% of the revenue comes from e-governance services. But in their recent annual report, I read that they want to stop focusing on e-governance services, and they want to focus more on providing services to private company. I don't know why is this. Because what I feel is if you provide services to government, even with the development for the country, but there is a continuous revenue stream if you help government, but they want to go away from
So one
supporting government.
one problem with providing help, I mean, I mean, providing services to government is number one, government doesn't pay on time, which I think is improving. And second is the type of work. I mean, the quality of work. It's not very. I mean, some websites are very nice. If you look at, say, the current tax website, which was made by Infosys, that's brilliant. But those, I mean, there are only few such things. Even if you look at the passport website, it's not very good. So the people, I mean, their current employees, they are also not very happy. They shouldn't be happy doing such low level website building work. So I think if they are able to work with private sector where there are more demand, and they request for much more feature, they can use that and cross sell it in the government organizations also. That's my personal feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
These
So
are their clients, more or less. I think they have a lot of interesting clients.
yeah, they're planning to increase their clients in fintech industry more.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Oh,
right now it's GeoFiber, Act FiberNet, Tata Power, and Tata Trust. Radhe, by any chance, do you know what services they provide to these private sector fellows?
I don't know the particular services
I'll,
they are provided to this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll,
Most are
I'll,
engineering services, energy, IoT.
I'll
Okay.
show you.
So for
So
Tata Power, it can be energy services.
this is the presentation from their uh, PPT. So
Mm-hmm.
so basically, I don't know, integrated a web portal, analytics, mobile apps. So as I told, I mean, these would be those chota apps that the government has been experimenting with. So many companies, I mean, so for example, my friend who works at CSC, they need to build some app. They'll reach out to such companies like Raminfo. I'm not
Right.
Raminfo, but similar companies, and then they'll give them like 5-6 lakh rupees, and they'll build a application. But and
Mm.
these are only for the company purposes. It's not for like putting it outside. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that
Right.
Yeah.
way.
So why is this company interesting, Gaurav or Radhe, or is it just that we have covered this company and this is one of the companies we are looking at?
So for me, it's interesting because I mean, again, they are into this government. I mean, they have a what do you call it? They have entered into the government space,
Yeah.
and they are also trying to get into the private space. And again, I want to focus on digitization. So
Mhm.
as and when we digitize more, I mean, you see the way our country is digitizing. So more and more
Right.
services will be available through digital these things. What was very interesting was this IoT device. And imagine if such an organization who's a part of various, say, government organization, uh, they start providing solutions for, say, POS for ration or other such application, right? Where
Hmm.
government is trying to give services, or Aadhaar or something like that. They generate a lot of money. I mean, they would have a lot of operating leverage probably through that.
Right.
So that way, I
Right.
mean, I can keep it in my radar. It's not a bad company compared to the vanilla IT company. They have some. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like, I mean, just IT. It's IT plus, some.
They're playing in a niche space, but
Uh,
if I think as Radhe is saying, if they are actually planning to move out of government, they might be losing their whatever novelty they have, right?
no, so government jobs will not probably, if you take my point of view, they are not that aggressive with timelines. Or
Mhm.
I mean, say for example, in a year you have 100 projects, and that 100 projects gives you, say, 20% EBIT margin, and you're working with it, delivering it. But to
Mhm.
have incremental increase, because when you are running an IT company, um, the more people that you add, and you say, you can see it in that term. I mean, you say you have 10 employees, and you have enough demand. From 10 employee, you're earning 10 crore. If you add one more employee, you can earn, I mean, you can have sales of 11 crore. If you add two more employee, you can have a sales of 13 crore, something like that. The more the number of people, I mean, that way you can think of it.
Yeah, so people are capex, right? In a in
People are
a
capex. Yeah,
IT company. So
correct.
how many employees did you say, Radhe?
50 to
60.
70.
60.
So 60, if you take average, it's 1.3 crore per person. So Gaurav, if you have any idea about this, this seems very low to me, right? Or is this okay?
The revenue per person.
Yeah.
No, it's actually very good. Google is 1.5 crore per person.
Oh,
Zerodha is
is it?
3 crore per person. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
That's also very interesting. I took a note of it, that they have so low employee, and they're
Mm-hmm.
generating pretty good. I mean,
Mm,
compared to
okay,
that.
okay,
So
okay.
they do. I mean, they have some sort of arbitrage. I mean, say in the government projects also, probably they are able to bid for higher value. And
Mm.
and in
So,
government, another thing is, because of the lack of experts in cybersecurity, right? Uh,
mm,
you don't have some sort of and because these products are not standardized, especially apps and all. There's no way to have a tender based system of it. uh,
mm, mm,
this is
mm,
something I've come across in my previous some venture.
mm, mm, mm.
Many times, say for example, DRDO wants to have some sort of project. They have the budget for it. They call 2 3 people, and then if everybody gives their own presentation, they don't have a way to compare apples to apples in this. So that's one of the reason
Right.
probably.
Interesting. But if you look at the financials, so Gaurav, if you can go up, I think Radhe also
Hmm.
have noticed this. So
Yeah.
if you just check the first table,
Hmm.
so yeah, so here just look at the variability in your PAT. Okay, so it was 5%, 6%, then 4%, then it went down to 2%, maybe COVID impact. Then this year it has jumped back. Last year it has jumped back to 7.8%.
Hmm.
And this year again, I think they are trending close to 7%. Okay.
Yeah.
So something was, now this FY22 was a great year. I just checked the 3 quarters of FY23. It's close to FY22 performance. Not as good, but not very bad. So is something good happening here? Is something changing? Is something that I think rather you can spend some time to understand, like why did 2021 dip so bad? Was COVID the reason? And is this FY22 kind of EBITDA and FY22 kind of PAT, is it sustainable? Because Gaurav, look at the table below. ROCE has shot up from 15% to 45%,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Yes.
So and the 3 quarters also, they are not doing that bad. They're doing close to this kind of, you know, uh, 5.5 crores they have done in PAT for the 3 quarters. So if they continue in the same trajectory, they'll be at around 7.2 or something like that. So a little lower than last year, but not disastrously low. So maybe something good is happening rather. So you can capture that as one question.
Free
Radhe,
cash flow.
this is not correct,
Yeah,
isn't it? This is not correct. This actually put me off. I mean, they have a free cash flow of I think 7.19 crore.
I
Please
got.
correct.
I mean, I downloaded the Excel sheet and I uploaded
Okay.
it.
Okay. Okay.
Even that is very
No, no.
surprising. They
So
have
so
such high
funny.
negative free cash flow.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, I had issued a correction to this Excel sheet, Radhe. I think in your sheet it has not been changed. So I think
Mm.
these are hard-coded formulae that are there in your sheet. So that was the old version. So for free cash flow, you just subtract capex from the CFO. So
Yeah.
you can go to the cash flow statement on screener and fixed assets purchased, right? So this item and fixed assets sold. So whatever is the net. So for example, if I look at March 2020, then
Hmm.
4.37 was the 4.37 crore was the amount spent in purchasing assets, and there was nothing sold. So the net amount that you have to subtract is 4.37 from 6.48, 6.46 to get the free cash flow.
Hmm.
Okay, so make a note and maybe change the formula there
Yeah,
in your
sure.
Excel.
But the days of working capital have also decreased.
Yeah, that's another good thing.
Yeah. This one, right? These. But something has increased. I think I was seeing there's something as a red flag over there also. Let's see. High debtors of 154 days. Okay. Yeah, this is one
Hmm.
of the reason I think the company wants to shift to other activities. I mean, they have
Yeah,
a cash flow, but then they can use. I mean, it's going to come, and they can use. They can actually use government receipts to borrow money also from banks because that's considered and
But
I mean assured, and
but
then get
right.
if
get with other
they
projects. Hmm?
if they want to do that, they can still continue working with government, right? But they don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
Sometimes projects are very choppy. I mean, it doesn't come all at once, right? So I think I mean having more customers is not bad in many cases,
Yeah.
especially when it is these kind of chota application which is for in-house activities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
good.
Radhe, have you been able to understand why they want to move out? Have they spoken about it? The reason?
No, they haven't. It was only mentioned this that they are going to focus more on private
Okay,
companies.
okay.
They don't have any con call, and this is something I'm going to add over here if the company has con calls or not.
Yeah, yeah.
So this
They
is
do have a PPT that
yeah,
they give every quarter, though. Or
yes,
maybe
yes.
nahi, once in six. No, they don't give it every quarter. I think it's
June last
yeah,
PPT.
June 2022 was the last PPT. Yeah,
I mean, it's a tiny company, worth
yeah.
watching. I mean, I just wanted to see what are the companies in the serving the government in the
Yeah, that's
IT space.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then
Ah, our
let's
system.
yeah, our systems. Moment. All right.
Yeah. So
Let me.
among many companies I evaluated, our system, I found it has like a large global presence. So it is again IT and business process outsourcing service provider company, and it includes various AI and analytical services. It provides various AI and analytical services, and it caters industries such as insurance, healthcare, telecom, and media. And three out of its six board members, 50% of board members are independent, and promoter holding is 51 percentage. So yeah, and it has a large global presence, be it in clients or projects or subsidiaries. So even in their annual report, they start with their three case studies, which are all projects they've worked in abroad. And even so yeah, we can see again most of the IT companies, we are seeing a steady growth in revenue, EBITDA, and the companies more of equity finance than debt financing. uh can you go okay, so pet the pet has increased, we can see. And in the annual report it was mentioned that the pet has increased because of effective tax rates, and the major reason for that was the SEZ benefits they were receiving and the lower corporate tax rates in other European and Singapore subsidiaries. So this was the reason mentioned, and the rate of tax is almost similar to the other peer IT companies. And yeah, and the other thing is about IT company, what I find very interesting is that even if there is, like, they have a large global presence, so even if the rupee is depreciating, the company will observe a bullish trend because they are dealing with foreign companies and with foreign currencies. So that's a good thing if the if the rupee depreciates for them. And Raminfo has a large global presence.
Yeah, great.
RAM info, not RAM info, our systems.
Our
Our
system,
system,
sorry, so
our
sorry.
systems.
Right. If you look at the stock, this has been listed for a very long time. It's been listed since 2006,
Hmm.
and it has been a tremendous wealth creator. So the uh, stock price CAGR over 10 years is 27%.
Yeah,
And in the last 5 years, the stock has just taken off, absolutely taken off. So 43% CAGR since 2018.
And
Wow.
in last 5 years, we are observing rupee depreciation a lot.
and
Right.
think about it, Nirvan. We haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, we
It's a
haven't even
tiny
heard of
company,
it. Yeah,
and look at this metric. I mean, what was very interesting for me was their sales are constantly growing at 30%, 20%, something like this, right?
absolutely.
Quarter
And
by
their
quarter.
ROCs are stellar. I mean, they
Yeah.
have in the last 10, 12 years. So since 2013, their ROC has dipped below 20% only once.
Hmm.
So, I mean, pretty good that way. Promoter holding, as Radhe said, is quite good.
And
So, yeah, quite interesting.
they have solid cash flow. I mean, we have to
Yeah.
see how is it, but so they have some fixed asset purchased. So I don't know where is it going,
Yeah,
but
the cash flow, yeah, looks good.
cash flow from operations and all. So this is an
Interesting.
interesting company. Only problem that I have is annual report of 2022 is not present.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a red flag.
So this is
Hmm.
something I want to actually search because they have it for all the other and they have PPTs for so
Even on their website, it's not there, is it?
but if you look at I haven't checked. Maybe I will check it.
Hmm.
But if you see, they have their transcripts and PPTs, so they do con calls.
Yeah, so about the tax
Mm,
rate, it was mentioned in the con call of December
mm.
2022.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
every 5 6 months they are doing a con call. They're sending their PPTs, but they I mean their annual report is not here. Maybe it would be there in their you know
On the
website,
website, huh?
but
Hmm.
this is
Okay.
something we have to check.
Yeah.
I'll just look here once.
Interesting.
Okay, they are buying back as well. Wow.
Hmm. Yeah, they're generating good cash flows. Yeah, they don't have it, Gaurav. They don't have it on the website as well. So
Key
maybe
f-
some problem.
key financial data. Well, I mean, where did you see it?
Yeah,
Did you?
on the annual report section, I saw it. I'll send the link to you. It's not there.
This one, financial reports.
It's entered
So,
on chat. You can just click on that.
okay. Yeah, there might be some reason for this one. I mean, this would be
Yeah,
interesting to see.
yeah, yeah,
There could be
yeah.
genuine reason also.
Are they Hyderabad headquartered? Let me quickly check.
Uh,
Um,
Noida.
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 Okay, okay. Hmm.
I have mentioned the screenshot of a con call thing, and but even in that con call, they had mentioned that like they really started with that the company was incorporated in California
Okay.
in 1996,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I did a lot of digging, but I could not find out that it was incorporated in India or in California.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it could be. I mean, it could be incorporated in California, and then I mean, they have a
Yeah,
subsidiary in India. You, that should be easy. One thing. So your employee benefits are this much. So number of employees are this. So average cost per employee is 26 lakhs. So
26 lakh.
basically, yeah, that's a fair number, I think. Median remuneration growth is 8%. Revenue average sale per employee is 30 lakhs. So this would be typical TCS type. TCS also has like
hmm.
around this one 30, 35, 40 lakh rupees
I
sale
see,
per
I
employee.
see. Hmm.
Then computers and hardware, 802 million employees with computers. Is it a right number? I mean, did you?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Uh,
it's not divided by 60,000. It's
okay, okay. Please,
oh.
I mean, add a row
Yeah,
if
I'll
you.
correct that.
Yeah, add a row for this one because okay, furniture per employee 37 is also is a proper number. I mean, if you look at the cubicle, so 37,000 per this thing, it's not way off. So they are not investing in buying buildings which are only, I mean, what do you call it? They don't have employee, but then they have a lot of buildings. So something not like that.
So, if you look at their financials, the last 3 years, I mean, after 2019, from 2020 onwards, their EBITDA has jumped from 8 9% to 13 14%. And for the last three
Yeah.
years, it's been at that level. Even for the 3 quarters of this financial years, it's been 12%, 14%, 14%. So, it's a sustainable change that they have made. So maybe interesting, Rathe, to find out what changed. I mean, in the 2020 annual report, you will find this, I'm sure. Oh,
Hmm.
Yeah.
they don't have an annual report. Uh, okay, yeah, they don't. So their financial year actually ends in December. Yeah, so they are like
Ah,
Varun Beverages.
hmm.
So because Varun Beverages is related to Pepsi, and Pepsi has a financial year which is the calendar year. So even this company is like that, but that still doesn't explain. So maybe yeah, that's the reason, I guess, no?
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
2022 will come
2022
out.
will come out soon. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, interesting, interesting. Then this is very nice.
yeah. That's not a red flag then. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
So
Um.
genuinely like the system. I mean, I was so surprised that there's a company like this, and it's
oh, there
then
are Varun Beverages is like this.
no, as in like there was I mean, Chota company which is doing pretty
Ah,
good.
yeah,
The PE is not that bad, and I
yeah,
was also
yeah.
looking at price to sales. I think if you look at market cap to sales, it's at
Hmm.
1.9, which is I think
Yeah.
very decent.
Yeah, which is decent, which is quite decent. Their cash conversion could be better, but
Hmm.
it's not the worst. So the 5-year average is CFO EBITDA is 0.5.
Do I have
Uh,
CFO?
So even about EBITDA, they had mentioned in their con call transcript that it's 14 percentage, but they might find it little hard to maintain it at 14 percentage. The
okay,
reason given was the US recession,
okay,
and there are some customers backing off.
Very nice.
okay, okay.
So this is
Hmm.
a good thing. I mean, this is a good thing because then you get opportunities to enter. But US में तो recession तो आ ही नहीं रहा. I was
No,
hoping
but
it would.
98% of their revenues are from abroad, Gaurav.
Hmm,
So the even after that, the December revenues have grown strongly, 25%
strongly.
YOY. They are
Yeah,
flat QOQ. So
yeah.
have they guided for EBITDA margin rather like 14% नहीं होगा but कितना होगा कुछ बोला है?
No, they haven't, but they just mentioned that it's little hard to maintain.
Okay, okay. Very interesting. This is an interesting company again.
Even
Okay,
actually, that question was asked to them, but they
Hmm.
just switched
They
that.
didn't answer.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
right. Then, Nirvan, out of the last three companies, we should focus on our infosec. I mean, this company
Our
and
systems,
our
and
system and that
I
eMudra.
would say eMudra, yeah.
Ram Infotech, that we miss out.
That we
Ram,
can,
right?
in the priority list, you can have that in a secondary priority
Sure,
list.
sure, sure. Yeah.
Uh, Top priority, I think, my view is our systems and eMudra. I think you also agree.
Mm-hmm. ROIC. Sorry, there's no ROIIC. That could have been also interesting. How much are they reinvesting, and what is the
Yeah.
return on the reinvestment rate? Anyways, cool. Let's go into your favorite company, Tanla.
Yeah. Tanla, though, I will hear the whole thing and then I'll give my point of view
Okay,
because yeah.
Okay,
great.
so Tanla is again B2C, business to customer cloud computing software provider, or to be precise, A2C, application to customer. So it's basic, yeah, and their headquarters is in Hyderabad. So it's basically a messaging platform provider. Their major customers are Vodafone, Airtel, Facebook, and HDFC LinkedIn. Recently, I saw the news that MIT also invested in Tanla. This company took a great hit during COVID because the platform blockchain platform used for COVID, the vaccine dose, the OTPs were provided by Tanla. So I knew that there is, like, I heard from you that there is something fishy going on. But when I saw that their major customers are such Vodafone, Airtel, HDFC, they have worked with government. MIT is holding some shares. I could not find what is so fishy, but the company showed increasing sales. 44 percentage is the promoter ownership. 50 percentage of the board members are independent. Their ROC, and ROE is quite high, and there is a negative profit after tax in 2020. Um, yeah, so the PAT also increased because the tax rates have significantly
So,
reduced. I
so
mean, not.
Radhe, about 2020, did you go into why they had a negative PAT?
um yeah, actually I have written, but I'm not able to read.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Is it
okay.
written
So,
here?
No, I have written in my notebook. I'm unable to identify my handwriting.
Okay.
It was
okay.
it was along with increasing revenue, there was some increasing cost
Yeah,
in
I mean
2020.
that's how losses happen, right? But
Yeah,
which item of anyway, we'll discuss. You carry on.
yeah. So again, there is more of equity financing than debt financing. Um, can you go just down
Yeah.
till last?
Last. Okay.
Last.
This one.
Yeah. So the employee cost, the change in employee cost is 47 percentage. But whereas I found some like allowance for doubtful debts, traveling expenses, marketing expenses, those are increasing, but employee cost is just increasing by 47%. This changes in the uh, expenses I found little bit surprising. Of- Like,
Sure.
why this much increase for allowance for doubtful debts?
But if you see them, they're very small. I mean, like six. I mean, 6 crore. I think crore, right? Yeah, 6 crore. I mean, for the company who does a sales of, I think, let me check. Uh,
About 3,000 plus crores.
yeah, 3,000 plus crore. 6 crore is like a not so much.
Yeah. So even in 21 and 22, their cash flow decreased. They had mentioned that their tax payouts had increased. Even they had reduced the dividend.
Hmm. This rent, they have
And
only 2
yeah,
crore of rent. Wow.
uh, one more thing mentioned was in 2020, like they have heavy investment plans. Throughout the thing, I read a lot that they have heavy investment plans. They have heavy investment plans.
In 2020 or 22.
2020.
Okay, but they didn't do the investment, is it?
It was just mentioned that they have heavy investment plans. What, where, how? I couldn't find it.
No, but Radhe, how can you check whether they did the investment or not?
I mean, if they are planning to do investment plans in 2020, there would be something mentioned on what, even in next year or maybe the upcoming
Agreed,
year.
agreed. I mean,
Yeah,
what
fine.
would be mentioned, but if they did or not, whether they did or not, yes or no, how can you find out?
Land,
Increasing
land.
cost.
They're buying land.
Increasing increasing cost. No, cost won't be investment, right, Radhe? So
Yeah.
investment will be, it'll show up where in the profit and
CFI.
loss. Yeah, exactly.
CFI.
Exactly. So if you go to cash flow from investing activity, see there's
It's
a big
negative.
investment. It's a big investment. Negative means investment.
Yeah. Investment.
So there was a big investment in 2020, 2021, not so much, little lower.
So I see that their land, I mean, they have increased the amount of land in their asset, but
Right.
it's a tiny amount compared to what they have invested
Yeah,
over here.
it's not very big, not very
Yeah.
big. And see, land investments, Gaurav, which are declared publicly, they are fine. The
Ah.
land investments that are problematic, you probably won't see so nicely,
Now,
you know.
one thing that would have been, I mean, if this guy was not that great, if the promoter was not that great, their rental should have been very high. I mean, their rental is just 2 crore. So what is he doing?
Yeah,
He's using a company to purchase land and buildings in good location, take out
yeah. So
depreciation through it.
no, so let's go to 2020. Yeah, go up in the PNL
Hmm,
and go to 2020.
hmm,
Yeah,
hmm.
and Radhe, tell me what is the item that made the PNL go negative? If you can see the screen.
Yeah. Okay. What is the item that other income? Just a second.
So they had a 184 crore operating profit EBITDA, but a PBT of minus 237 crores. Which
Okay.
That is
item
over
hit
here.
them?
Other income expansion exceptional items.
ठीक से देखो यार.
Depreciation.
What is your final answer?
Depreciation.
Yeah. So depreciation was 50, 70 crores and suddenly it became 400 crores, right? So in
Yes.
this year, so this company Tanla started, in the, I think sometime in the, I mean, this promoter took over the company in the late 2000s. Okay. So maybe around 2007, 8, sometime like that. The company was initially servicing, I mean, Nokia, BlackBerry, these guys were the largest customers for them. And they were into value added services. So at that time, it was called VAS. So they are first of all, they are not a software company, rather, they are a telco company. Okay. So they are a telecom linked company. So their revenues come from Airtel, Vodafone, as you rightly said, and customers who are, wanting services over the telecom network. So they are the customers. So for example, messaging. Messaging is their largest contributor to revenue. So all this HDFC Bank, Kotak Bank, all the messages that you get, receive, they are part of the supply chain of delivering that. So this company has changed its business model a lot of times. Gaurav, can you go to the price chart for this company
Hmm.
and just go on Max? Yeah. So look at the price chart. So the company was healthy till about say late 2000s. Then it absolutely disappeared. I mean, on the scale, you can't even see like what the price levels were, right? So it
4
went
rupees.
through a lot. Yeah, it went to 4 rupees. That's when Nokia basically stopped manufacturing everything, and their business model become defunct. Okay, so a company like this, which has sort of completely almost gone bankrupt, will automatically carry a lot of lack of trust because of failure of execution earlier. Yeah, whether the promoter is truthful or not. And the promoter, before founding this company, he was into real estate and he's politically connected. So these are things which are very difficult, rather, for you to immediately get if you don't deep dive. So I'm just informing these. And then in 2020, what happened is, in from 2020 or 2019, this company started turning around. So the government brought a regulation called TCCPR. Okay, so the TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, they brought in this regulation which said that you have to have a blockchain network which will scrub every SMS. What does scrubbing an SMS mean? Suppose I am an organization, suppose I sell clothes, okay, and I want to reach out to all my potential customers whose numbers I have. I want to spam them with SMS. I want to market my product, etc. So, in order to make sure that only authorized participants are sending messages and the messages are not harmful, the TRI came up with a regulation which said companies have to set up a blockchain filtering network, SMS spam filtering network. And Tanla was able to successfully do this. So along with Tanla, Tech Mahindra, and there's I think IBM. These are the three companies which have this software deployed today. So all messages from companies, these are called A2P messages. A2P versus P2P. P2P is if I am sending you a message, Radhe. A2P is if Aditya Birla Group is sending you a message. Yeah, you know that, I'm sure. So this software was set up, and Tanla sort of, you know, refound itself in this process. And in 2020, what they said is, so the promoter used to do con calls, okay, till about 2018, 19, and then he was questioned so heavily on those con calls, he randomly stopped doing con calls one day, okay, and he stayed silent. And then in 2020, when all the good things started happening, he again resumed con calls. So in 2020, before resuming con calls, he wrote off 400 crores of assets, which is 380 crores, the depreciation that you see of assets from the books, saying that the new regulatory authority, you know, the TCCPR rules make these legacy assets irrelevant now. So these legacy assets are no longer required. So 400 crore was written off in one go. Now, see, I mean, he may as well be saying the truth. But a company which doesn't do con calls, which has a very tumultuous past like this, right? It has reinvented itself two, three times, almost gone bankrupt. It's difficult for the market to, you know, completely believe the guy. And the guy is politically connected, has real estate connections, etc., etc. So that's what happened. So and then they executed very well on these new, you know, their platform is called. Do you know what the platform is called, Radhi? You must have read, right? Their
Mm,
blockchain spam filtering network,
something C. No, I'm not sure.
TrueBlock. So I think you haven't gone through the latest presentations. You should. So the network is called. Yeah, if you can open it. Yeah. So just go to the first page, Gaurav.
Ah, okay. This one
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's written.
So here you
here.
will see, yeah, that is there. And they keep talking about, you know, two categories of revenue. One is platform revenues and one is enterprise revenues. Okay. So I'm just explaining it to you. So this company has about 10% revenues from platform. Which are the platforms? TrueBlock is a platform, Wisely is a platform. Here they have 95% gross margins. Okay. So basically, whatever passes through, the entire thing goes to their margins. The other part, 90% of revenues, is what is enterprise business, which means they facilitate this SMS and WhatsApp communication, right? SMS, WhatsApp, email communication, etc. Everything they facilitate, and they take a small margin. So that business is 16 to 20%. You know, so these guys are saying that gradually we'll increase our platform revenues, and then, you know, our EBITDA profile, gross margin profile, everything will increase, and we will become a very innovative company. So they now claim to be a product based company where they have developed these two products, TrueBlock and Wisely. Okay. But in the process, in this year, they lost a lot of market share to Root Mobile. That is their largest competitor. It's also a listed stock. The stock generated a lot of excitement when it was listed, I think, in 2021. You can also look up that company. So they lost, there was a price war, and they lost SBI. SBI is the largest banking SMS player. So they lost SBI to Root Mobile in Q1 FY23, and the stock tanked. Okay. So basically, now there is a fight in the market between believers, who are very few, who say that this is a temporary setback and the platform will scale up. The platform is really high quality. So the platform is Wisely. The name of the platform is Wisely. It's very high quality. It will scale up. We'll go international. The stock will reach 3,000, 4,000 rupees. And there is another set of people who say that uh, they are not geographically diversifying themselves. They are staying in the Indian market where only two, three big telcos are there who will always keep you under pressure. Their platform, they've been saying for 1 year that they will scale up, but they've not yet been able to scale up. So it may fail, it may not deliver. And the difference is if the platform scales up, it is a 30x PE company. Okay. It can be valued at 30, 35 PE. If it doesn't, and if the company only has to rely on enterprise business, then it's nothing more than a 20 PE company. And it's trading right now as a
Less
pure.
than 20 actually.
Yeah, right now it's trading at 17, 18, something like that.
Yeah.
So
So there's
Gaurav,
some margin.
there is. So Gaurav, from a 2 year, 3 year point of view, this stock can double. Okay,
Hmm.
even without a lot of exciting things happening on platform.
Hmm.
And about trust, Radhe. So one other way of judging trust is go to the shareholding. Gaurav. I know you're comparing Root Mobile and yeah, it's a great comparison. So, but if you look at the this thing,
Which one?
yeah,
Promoter?
expand. No, no, expand FIIs and DIIs. So MIT entered and left also, rather long time back. Okay,
Hmm.
so MIT left, entered. Then Premji, Gaurav, Premji had entered with 1.5% holding. Premji Invest.
Okay.
They left within about a year. Okay.
Hmm.
So what does all this tell you? That institutional confidence is very poor, right?
Yeah.
Even if you see DIIs, barely any holding, and you compare this with Root Mobile, they have tons of institutional holding. Yeah, because the new IPO and the CEO doesn't have a shady past. Yeah, so they are enjoying a lot of institutional holding. So their PE is much higher, maybe 26, 27, something like that. So this is in a nutshell, Gaurav and Radhe, what I know about this company. I have invested, and right now I'm suffering. So my average buy price is around, I think, 950 rupees, and the stock right now is at around 600. And before coming to 600, the stock had touched 2000. So yeah, during
Um,
bull markets, very weird things happen. Yeah, Radhe.
so even in your con call, you had mentioned that the platform revenue coming from platform is uh, lower than what they had promised. I
Right.
guess 18 percentage. They had promised for 35 percentage. So is it still on that? I mean, are there revenues coming from platform revenue coming 35 percentage?
No, so you're talking about, I think, the latest con call, right? So that's
Yeah.
where I'd asked them. So yeah, so their revenues have not scaled up the way that they had promised. So this gentleman had come on TV in April and had promised a lot of things, and none of that has so far worked out. So now they are backtracking and saying that integration with Vodafone is taking time, etc., etc. So the question is, belief in the promoter is very poor in the market overall. And it's a Hyderabad-based company, and Hyderabad-based companies, if they do one shady thing, the market will discount their stock considering 10 other shady things are there. Okay. So so they have that issue also. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's the thing. But Gaurav, if you want to do cigar butt investing, so cigar butt is a
Hmm.
term I don't know coined by who, maybe by Buffet. I don't know
Benjamin.
exactly.
Benjamin Graham.
Benjamin Graham, Ben Graham, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
cigar butt investing is basically investing in a poor company which does not have a lot of prospects, which is not the case for Tanla, but still, I mean, it's similar in the way it's priced. So, cigar butt investing is investing in not so great companies, but where valuations have been absolutely killed off. Where even if it's not a good company, it's a good investment because the
Yeah.
stock is so badly beaten down. Yeah. So this might be a case of cigar butt, and that's the only reason I'm holding Gaurav. So I don't care about what has already happened. I should have exited
Hmm.
long back. With a
Hmm.
2 year horizon, I'm hoping to get a 20-25% kind of cap.
No, to be very honest, even I'm comfortable with cigar but sort of investing because at least your valuation is still there. I mean, in my last 1.5 year, I think I've been beaten down by valuation more than the
Right.
prospects. Yeah,
Correct.
even my PNB investment was very good. KRBL investment was very good. Just that KRBL, I mean, I was not sure when it would come up, I lost patience, sold it off. PNB, I lost patience, sold it off.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, Radhe. So I don't know if I was able to give you some flavor of what issues are there with this company in
Can you
terms of.
again explain just one cigar but investing?
Yeah, so cigar butt investing is basically if you have a company which whose prospects are poor, okay, which means that the industry in which it does not have a long future life in front of it, okay. Maybe say like a coal company, okay. Coal is not going to be there maybe in a large way beyond 30, 40 years. So something like that, or the basically the company and the industry's prospects are not good. So generally people would avoid it, right?
Yeah,
But sometimes what happens is because the prospects are not good, the stock market absolutely pummels the stock and brings the stock price to such a level that even with a bad future, that price is still too low. Okay. So it's like cigar butt means when somebody is smoking a cigarette, the last part of the cigarette, okay, that's called cigar butt. So I think Benjamin Graham's logic was only one or two puffs are left in the cigarette. Okay. And the cigarette is the company. Okay. So it
yeah,
doesn't have a longer future. So only you can take one or two puffs. But those last two puffs can be satisfying because they can still give you a good return. Understood?
yeah.
So yeah, that's cigar butt.
And I think, Nirvan, if a turnaround takes place,
Yeah.
that's probably going to be a massive surprise.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if this company, for example, starts delivering on platforms and stops losing market share, it'll get swiftly re-rated back to 25 XP at least.
Hmm. Plus whatever earning growth they have.
Earning growth to ho gayi, but the
Ah,
re-rating will happen to at least 25. Again, in a bull
right.
market, this can go up, but even in a choppy market, this can go up to 25p if the market share bleeding stops.
Right. All right. Cool. I think we got through some really interesting
Yeah,
companies.
we
Yeah.
did. This was really
Even
interesting.
they're like they're recently going to they have not started much work with LinkedIn, but they're going to start. So they're even acquiring good clients.
Can you share me this thing, Radhe? I haven't seen this thing with LinkedIn. So if you have anything, please share with me. I would like to
Yeah,
read it. Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's there over here. See,
Oh, is it?
Airtel, LinkedIn. I'm not sure, but in the customer part.
Okay, okay, okay. But apart from this, Radhe, if you came across somewhere, do let me know. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Because, yeah. Sometimes, Gaurav, the screener page is not updated in 1 or 2 years. So it can be a little outdated.
They updated it 2 months ago. 2 months, two
Ah,
weeks.
okay. Then this is
But
interesting, maybe.
pr- probably. I
My
mean,
bad. Truecaller.
True caller. Yeah, yeah. So Gaurav, this might be interesting to you. So True caller, Tanla has an exclusive partnership on messaging. Okay. So
okay.
True caller through their app is trying to set up a parallel to WhatsApp business messaging.
Right.
So
Right.
Truecaller is trying to become another WhatsApp. And Truecaller in their own con calls, it's a company listed in Sweden. They talk about Tanla there. Okay. So I mean, it created tons of excitement. So far, the delivery hasn't happened because these things take time, right? Why will
Yeah,
an enterprise want to suddenly spend money to do marketing over Truecaller? It has to first be convinced that okay, Truecaller messages are being read by customers and stuff like that. So they've started, but for example, I have installed Truecaller only for Tanla, and I'm waiting the day that I get shopper stop messages or other messages on Truecaller. So far, it hasn't happened.
Uh,
But yeah,
but we do get some like Vodafone OTPs on Truecaller.
no OTP you don't get on Truecaller rather. It's on. You get it as an SMS. Truecaller just reads it out for you or shows you a notification for it. So
Yeah, so
Truecaller.
it's a default. Yeah, okay.
Correct. So it's your default SMS. It is your default SMS app. That's why you get to see
Okay.
it. But Truecaller business messaging is a separate channel.
Okay,
It's
understood.
like
um,
WhatsApp business messaging.
one thing, Nirvan, are you aware that TRI is also going to come up with a new regulation
Yeah.
through which on
Yeah. Yeah.
the yeah, I
Caller
mean
ID.
basically killing off Truecaller's business itself.
So Truecaller has said that that won't impact us much because that is not the only reason that people use us. So this was my doubt also, and I still think it's going to impact Truecaller.
I
But
think it would.
that's, yeah, and that's probably why people are sort of. I mean, Truecaller was so intent on diversifying into other fields. So
Hmm.
business messaging is that's why it has come up. So I
Hmm.
am also not very bullish about the Truecaller partnership, to be honest. Oh, by the way, their platform Wisely, another thing they claim, I mean, it was developed in collaboration with Microsoft, and they use Azure as their cloud platform. But when they developed and announced it, they said it is in partnership with Microsoft, and it would be co-sold. So something like that. So that was the expectation. So nothing has materialized on that. So Microsoft doesn't co-sell. It doesn't even talk about it. Satya Nadella was in India right now. There was no press conference or press note on that with regards to Tanla. So basically, platform business has been oversold to the moon by this management. As a result of which the stock got re-rated to some 50x PE or something. Then it did not deliver on platforms, and two, it started losing enterprise market share, and the stock just collapsed. And it collapsed in the space of like 15 days or something. So yeah, so interesting case study. I have learned a lot regarding investment and everything through this 2 year journey that I've had with the stock.
Great. Cool.
Amen.
Yeah, great session, Radhe. Great presentation.
Okay. Then Nirvan, we will have the next session from you, right?
Yeah, so tomorrow we will have a session. So,
Hmm.
Gaurav, I that session is important because I'll complete the forensics,
Hmm.
and whatever time I have, I'll start the annual reports.
Hmm.
So, I would ideally like to do this when all four are present.
Hmm.
So, at least the three of you here, are you guys going to be available tomorrow, 7 to 8?
I'm
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
Yes. Great. So then we'll have the session, and maybe I'll drop a message to Bhavna as well on the group itself, Gaurav.
Yes.
So that's it. One more thing, yeah, Gaurav.